welcome to Lisa Loves Catch Up for the month of March. I was thinking madly, what time is it? What day is it? What month is it? It's April. I'm doing the March catch up. I will try and keep this as brief as I can. I know I have a tendency to waffle. Right, so we kicked off the month on the 2nd with The Final Girls. This is one that escaped me. I don't quite know why, but on my daily MSN Messenger, is it called MSN now? Or is that a thing of the past? Don't know. On my daily chat with Movie Massacre and Strange Monkey, they were talking about this movie, Final Girls, and I thought, I haven't seen that. So I watched it and it was fun. It's a horror comedy that I actually enjoyed, and if you know me, you'll know horror comedy isn't really my thing. I love it when it's done well, but this one, oh, I should have clicked on it, shouldn't I? Yeah, I really enjoyed it. It's basically taking the pee out of Camp Crystal Lake, the whole thing is, and I enjoyed it. It was awesome. So, The Final Girls. Why did I only give it 2.5? I should have given it more than 2.5. Next one, Dirty John, The Dirty Truth. That sounds rude. This has come on Netflix as a true story. Any true story that comes on Netflix, I'm in it. I'm desperate to see it. So this, there is like a drama based on the true story, which I haven't watched, and there's the actual true story, which I did watch, which was basically about a guy that likes to swindle and take money from vulnerable women all over America, and it had a bit of an ending that was quite shocking and quite awesome as far as I'm concerned. So yeah, I don't want to tell you what that ending was and what happened, but John got his comeuppance, that's all I'm going to say. So yeah, if you like true crime stories, check out Dirty John, The Dirty Truth. Like I say, there is a drama covering it also on Netflix, but that's the true story that I watched. Next was Your Son. I don't even know what this is. Oh yes, right. Tu Hijo. Is that Spanish or Portuguese? I'm going to say the wrong thing here. Right, it's either I think it's Spanish. This was really good, folks. This was also, I think, on Netflix. I'll tell you what it is by reading this. The story has a father as protagonist. As the protagonist, he does what he always thinks is going to be best for his family. He's a doctor. His life collapses when his 17-year-old son is left in a vegetative state due to a beating he receives at a nightclub. After seeing that justice does nothing to stop the guilty, he himself will undertake a trip to the underworld in search of revenge. That sounds a bit like a Liam Neeson movie. It's not. It's so much better. This guy goes out to find out what happened to his son, who was responsible, and to seek justice. It's a really good movie, folks. I would really recommend this one. The ending is totally not what I expected. It is quite shocking. And it carried me through, really interested from start to end. So if you don't mind subtitles, you don't mind a foreign movie, check that out. Tu Hijo. It sounds like a donkey. Hijo. I love Spanish, it's beautiful. But I know H's are pronounced like E's and J's are like, you know, like where you're going, spitting's a nasty habit. Tu Hijo. I'm sorry if you speak Spanish or if you're Spanish, I'm sorry. Your Son, check it out. Also on the 3rd, that's the 3rd movie that day, Only Lovers Left Alive. Yes, folks, I've only just seen this. Tilda Swinton and Tom Hiddleston. Tom Hiddleston looks hot in this movie, it has to be said. This is one about vampires that have been together over, you know, like Interview with the Vampire, over the ages, over the many years. Tom Hiddleston plays like a rock musician vampire, so that was right up my alley, I have to say. It's a bit highbrow in places, it's a little bit pretentious in places, but it's a cool movie. It's just one of those laid-back, effortlessly cool movies, but struck me on the edge of pretentiousness a little bit. Who's the other one that's in this? John Hurt is in this. So I'd recommend it, definitely, but I was expecting more. I was expecting a better movie, but it was enjoyable all the same. Instant Family. This is the new one at the cinema at the minute. Just a really easy watch. Mark Wahlberg, it is Mark, it's not Donnie, isn't it? Yeah, Mark Wahlberg and Rose Byrne, who I both like acting, they go down the route of adoption, and they manage to adopt not one child but 3. They come as a package, they're an instant family, they're brothers and sisters, and it's just everything that they go through and about becoming parents, and there's lots of laughs but there's lots of seriousness. It did make me cry. As I've said before, that's not a big challenge, but It was a heartwarming movie and it was funny in places. It's not one of those comedies that's going to have you rolling about in laughter. You know, you'll chuckle a few times, but it was a nice movie. So yeah, instant family. When you want something not very taxing to watch. On the same night, I watched The Quake. This is Norwegian. I enjoyed it. There's apparently another one. This is like, what's the first one called? Oh, Lisa. This is like part 2, but you don't need to have seen the first one. The first movie covers an earlier disaster, and this happens after the fallout of that has passed, and there's another big earthquake, and the main gentleman in this is trying to warn everyone, and no one is taking him seriously. So it's a disaster movie. Really interesting. Quite a drama rather than an action. I know that sounds strange with it being a disaster movie. There is a lot of action near the end of this, but it's a slow burn to start with, and I enjoyed it. I would recommend that one also. That's The Quake. On the 7th, Off Season. Oh my god. I reviewed this for Geek Legion of Doom. I will pop a link below in the description to my review. I thought it was awful. I won't go into any more detail. Captain Marvel. Went to see this at the cinema. Really don't get all the hate this is getting. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was funny. I liked the CGI in this, which is unusual for me. I was originally reticent about, hang on till we get her name, Brie Larson playing Captain Marvel, because I just felt she doesn't have anything about her. I still feel after having watched it they could have cast it better, but I do feel that it was an entertaining movie that I enjoyed, so don't get all the hate with that one, personally. Next one, Await Further Instructions. This was a different little movie. This was British, I think. A dysfunctional family awake on Christmas morning to discover they're sealed inside their house by a mysteriously black substance. On the television, a single line of text reads, "Stay indoors and await further instructions." And that's pretty much it. The whole movie's set inside the house. All the instructions as to what they need to do is coming from the TV, and they're trying to work out what the hell is going on. Sort of like mounting tension type thing. It's British, it's low budget. I enjoyed it personally because I felt it was like refreshing. It was different. So yeah, I liked it. I'm trying to wing through this as quick as I can. On the 11th, Paranormal Investigation. I'm trying to remember. Oh, there's nothing here at all. I think this was a foreign movie as well. I think this might have been French. Jean-Baptiste, that sounds French to me. No write-up in this. This was genuinely creepy in places. This is about a young man that I think he's playing Ouija board at the stove. God, I just kicked the ring light. He's playing Ouija at the start of this, and he becomes in some form possessed, but not in your typical Reagan sort of foaming at the mouth possessed. He's just acting very strangely and doing very strange things, and it's done in the found footage style, which you all know that I enjoy. It was a solid enough little movie. It's getting really bad. Nope, don't stop. It's getting really bad reviews on IMDb, which I feel is unwarranted because I thought it was an interesting. It's not going to blow your socks off. It's not amazing, but it's a nice passable little found footage. Paranormal Investigation. On the 15th, I watched A Kid Like Jake. This one was really interesting. This stars Sheldon, what's his name, Jim Parsons and Claire Danes as parents to a little boy who, it's the whole question around transgender. The little boy is really a little girl. He plays with dolls, he plays dress up, and the mother doesn't really want to face the fact that her son is her daughter, really. Let's see what it says here. The director of Jake's preschool encourages them to accentuate Jake's gender-expansive behaviour to help him stand out. Alex and Greg navigate their roles as parents. A rift grows between them, one that forces them to confront their own concerns. So Jim Parsons' character Sheldon, he's always Sheldon to me, he recognises in his son what's going on and he wants to encourage him to be how he wants to be. The mother is very much not wanting to put ideas into his head, and it comes across as a really like realistic version of what parents are facing going through something like that with their young child. And I say young child, he's preschool, he's a very young child, and it was interesting and informative and just a nice watch. That's A Kid Like Jake. Us. I don't need to talk to you about that. I did a review about that if you're interested. I loved the hell out of it. I preferred it to Get Out. I recognise there are plot holes. I recognise the ending is predictable, but personally I do not feel that that movie is about the twist. Lisa, stop doing the fucking things in the air. The movie is about more than that. It's beautiful. It's a beauty to behold. The cinematography and acting in this is just incredible. It's not just about the timeline and the ending and the twist. It's about so much more than that. You need to be able to sort of see the multi-layers going on here. I loved it. It's going to be one of those, some people will go meh. Some people will go, wow, I love this, like me. And some people will say that was crap. It's not crap. Watch it. That's my husband singing while yawning downstairs, if you heard that. 23rd, The Dirt. I also did a review about that if you want to check it out. Motley Crue, I've always been a fan of Motley Crue's music. As I always say, not so much Vince Neil's voice. I prefer John Corabi in the band, although the material they did when Vince Neil was there was much better. Part of my growing up in nightclubs, dancing to Girls, Girls, Girls and Kickstart My Heart and all that stuff. I've read The Dirt. I know all the ins and outs behind the scenes about Motley Crue. My only complaint was I loved what they did. I would have liked them to have gone into more depth on a lot of things that happened in their lives. And like my friend Kelly, when she spoke to me about it, said, and she's perfectly right, some things were glossed over and made light of that should have had a more serious tone, for sure. But I would recommend you watch it. I thought it was very interesting. But I would have liked to see a 6 or 8 part Netflix hour-long episodes show to cover everything that happened. Rust Creek on the 24th. This was okay. This was just your typical girl in the wilderness trying to escape from a couple of loons. Like Revenge, but not as bloody and gritty and gory, but still good, that kind of story. It is more of a drama element to it in places as well. But I liked it. I thought it was entertaining. It wasn't amazing, but it was entertaining. 24th again, Seven in Heaven. This might have appealed to me more as a teenager. Apparently in America there's a game where at parties you make a young lad and a young girl go into a closet together and it's called 7 Minutes in Heaven or something. And they're supposed to like make out in there. We don't use that term here, make out, either. It's just trying to think of the right expressions. But anyway, this guy goes in a closet with this girl and they disappear. And they end up in another realm, in another parallel universe that's happening where everyone that they know are different versions of themselves. It was an interesting concept if they had have adulted it up a little bit and not had it been about teenagers. But I like the concept. Oh, is it George Cole? Midnight Caller. Gary Cole, sorry. Gary Cole. I used to love Midnight Caller. That was one of my favourite shows. Alongside Quantum Leap, Midnight Caller. He's in this. He plays a really creepy dude. But yeah, Seven in Heaven, it was okay. I liked the concept. I would have liked them to have used adults, but it was interesting. 26th, Lords of Chaos, about the black metal band Mayhem and everything that went on behind the scenes. I've done a review about this if you want to watch it, but everything that went on behind the scenes of this black metal band was serious stuff, proper criminal, gory stuff. So if you're a horror fan but not interested in black metal, you will still find this interesting. It's not about the music at all. I've got a documentary to watch about the band that's more of a history of black metal. It's called Until the Light Takes Us. I've been recommended it by so many people that I'm going to watch it. But yeah, Lords of Chaos, I recommend this in a big way. The scenes in this that include gore are probably amongst the most realistic I have ever seen. Very disturbing. As I say, don't think you have to be a fan of black metal. I'm not. I like metal, don't like black metal. So yeah, Lords of Chaos, check it out. We're getting there, folks, in 14 minutes. We're not doing too bad. On the 27th, Destination Dewsbury, which I watched for Geek Legion of Doom. I never talk about those movies here because obviously, Leo, I get to watch these movies early, screener versions, so they're for that channel. But I will pop a link into my review. I really enjoyed this. It's got a lot of Northern English humour in. It's set in Yorkshire. Dewsbury's in Yorkshire, where my husband's from, where I lived for quite a few years. I felt they got the humour spot on in this. I will describe this as an adult version of The Inbetweeners, meaning that the guys in it, the 4 friends, are grown men. but it's not quite as gross out as the In-Betweeners, although there is a couple of scenes. But it was heartwarming. I liked it. It makes a change from, I'm not going to be talking about this, it makes a change from being funny to being really heartfelt, and it worked for me. I thought it was a really interesting movie. I go into more detail about the story on Geek Legion of Doom if you want to check that out. 2 more movies left. 29th, Social Animals. I will watch anything new that pops up on Netflix because I think I've seen it in its entirety. This is one about Instagram, and it follows 3 stories. A really overprivileged blonde girl that's absolutely gorgeous, and basically her life seems to be perfect. There is a girl that was badly bullied and had to move schools, and the other one was a young photographer. He's actually famous if you're into that sort of thing. What was his name? He's that famous I've forgotten. That's all the writers. Where's the bloody actors? Does it say here? No, he was a young lad. He was 17 when he started. He's a skateboarder. He used to take photographs off the top of massive high buildings, and he became a big name. And the people left behind in that community didn't like his success and basically called him all sorts of names and attacked him online for being a sellout. Basically what happens when people make it and other people are jealous. But it sort of goes into the 3 individual people's stories and how Instagram plays a part in that. And if... It's Isaac coughing. And if you're in any way interested in social media, you'll probably find that quite interesting. I did. And lastly, another Geek Legion of Doom one that I reviewed. It was one that I watched and reviewed with Isaac called Monsters at Large. And it was a really fun family movie. We both really enjoyed it. Kind of a play on Ghostbusters, Monster Busters, but I don't even know if that's up yet on Geek Legion of Doom. If it is, I shall put the link below, but if you've got kids, it's just a really fun kids movie. You can see what I watched last night at the top of that screen, Pet Sematary. I'm getting ready for Thursday night when I go to see the new one, which I've heard 2 reports on. One person says it was bloody awful and the other person said it was excellent, so who knows. I'll let you know when I go see it. So that's what I've watched in March, folks. My time has otherwise been spent playing Red Dead Redemption 2. Yes, more. I started again. I am back with Arthur. I saved over. Oh, I was so angry. I had 2 save files. One of them was the save file of the completed game, where I could basically go free roaming and do whatever the hell I wanted. And the other was me starting from scratch again. I saved over the wrong flipping. So now all of that work, I have to do it all again, but it's fun. I'm wanting to get into a game called PUBG. Movie Massacre is very much into this. He wants us to do like a team thing, which I want to do when I get a chance. I just get addicted to playing Red Dead so much every spare minute I get. But Movie Massacre just beats everyone at this. He comes first. It's like one of those battle royale things, a bit like Fortnite, but a more grown-up version. And you have to beat 100 other players, and he kicks ass at it. I'm going to be crap. It's a free mobile game, so if anyone wants to check it out, PUBG, P-U-B-G, let me know and we'll see if we can set any matches up with us all doing it and other people as bad as me, so I won't feel quite so bad, because the controls on your mobile is quite difficult. But yeah, so if you play it, let me know below in the comments. And I think that's all really I've been doing this past month. The PlayStation's taken over a bit too much of my time. I can't seem to trail myself away from Red Dead, but there's a game coming out this month called Days Gone, which is an open world one as well, but it's about zombies. And I am weeing myself at the prospect. I got money for Christmas on my birthday, which I always spend on tattoos. Lisa's gone on a tangent, she's waffling. I'm not getting a tattoo this year. Instead, I bought Resident Evil when it came out, the remake, and I'm going to buy Days Gone when it comes out, and my Christmas money will be gone. Kaput, no tattoos for Lisa this year. Sad, but true. Sad, but true. No metallic interjections, Lisa. People don't need to be hearing it. Right. I'm going to go now. Thank you for watching. Let me know if you've seen any of the movies I talked about, what you think of them below. Any you would really recommend to me that you've seen in the last month. Hit me up in the comments below. Give me a like, a subscribe if you haven't. I'd be much appreciated. I'm skirting around almost at 600, so I'm hoping to get there at some stage by hook or by crook. Let me just add at the end of this, 3 from the Grave this month are going to be covering the Evil Dead trilogy. One of us will be covering the original. One of us will be covering the remake and one will be covering Army of Darkness, so check out those when they come out, probably near in the mid to the near end of April, so we're looking forward to doing that for you guys. Also, and finally, please check out our Facebook 3 from the Grave page. We want to get a community going on there. We want to talk horror. We want to get your guys' opinions. We may ask your guys' suggestions about possible future episodes of 3 from the Grave, and if we take your idea, we will give you a shout out on the show. So we want to get you guys involved with the show. Tell us what you want to see, give us feedback on what we're doing, basically make this an all-inclusive thing for all of us in the horror community to get together. I will put a link in the description. I will put along the bottom of the screen here where you can find us. Please come and like the page, let us know you're there. Post as much as you want. Just get a discussion going about anything, about movies, about whatever you want. Let us know what you think. So yeah, with that said, it's over and out from Lisa Lives.